And welcome back to the Nose Plays Endless Space 2. Continuing probably the last video in this particular series on the United Empire with the New Awakening DLC. We should hit somewhere around turn 100, and at that point I think we can identify exactly how our start went and whether or not this is really a winnable game. I'm not really much for playing the end game in Endless Space 2. So you won't see me get much further than turn 100 in most of my videos. But I have won a number of games, so I do know what it takes to win. The end game just gets rather boring compared to the beginning of the game. So I'm much more likely to just start a new game once I get to that point in most cases. However, I am open to suggestions, so if you, as any of my viewers on YouTube, would like to make a comment on what you would like me to do, whether it's play a different faction or continue a little bit more of this particular game, just let me know in the comments section and see what we can do. When we last left our United Empire, we had pretty much finished off Horatio. He still has some ships floating around, but as far as I can tell, he doesn't have any more systems, and so he's basically out of the game at this point. We then decided to turn our attention to these pirates who have kind of become a nuisance in terms of preventing us from getting a realistic trade negotiation going on with the Kraz system over here and the Lumeris faction. The other thing that we've discovered is that there is a second Sophon player up here, and they are the player that actually has double the score of just about everyone else in the game, which is very scary, so to speak. The Cravers Empire were fairly confident as an Orange Empire, and my original goal was to destroy the Horatio and the Sophons that are near us, and then partner up with the Lumeris in order to take out this faction, the Cravers, and hopefully secure victory that way. At this point, it's looking like we might have to form some type of alliance with multiple factions in order to even have a reasonable chance of beating these guys. I'm not exactly sure what they're doing to be so far ahead of everyone else, but my guess is that they started in a constellation with the Umbral Choir, which has allowed them to expand rather rapidly without any resistance, so to speak. I don't know that for sure, but we did meet the Umbral Choir, so they are around. And this system over here, or the rest of this constellation over here, seems to be part of our constellation. So this is a huge constellation. We should finish scouting that out with this fleet, which I fully plan on doing. And just ensuring that there are no more Horatio systems over there. This could also be where the Umbral Choir came from. So, a lot of stuff going on. I don't remember how much of this turn we actually completed, so we're just going to go through everything and see where we're at. Starting with our systems, let's sort by population. So we got a number of systems with a lot of population. We're in the 300s in terms of our industry per turn, which is not as amazing as it could be. But we're getting close to remedying that, I believe, in most of our systems. You can see we're finishing up a lot of the well, not in this area anymore. I think we did that. But over here, we're finishing up a lot of the industry buildings, the last few. It looks like we're building a lot of influence buildings at the moment, which is fine, especially in places where we have more than 10 pop, because it's going to be over 40 influence per turn. And we can start using influence to buy things out. I'm going to get hyper packs here shortly. There is a Horatio ship here, but it's just a revealer. I don't have a ship. I do have a ship that can deal with that, hopefully. We'll see. What does our laws look like? So we're running Toys for Boys and the Jangoist bill. Spoils of War Act, we can keep it up for now. Are there any other laws that we would really like to be running? Mine's Bigger is a very dangerous thing for us to run. 33% weapon damage on our already really good weapon modules would be pretty terrifying. In fact, running a combination of Mine's Bigger and Fleet Fortitude would be absolutely terrifying. And the fact that we're going to be able to crank out ships in very, very short order due to our Sheridan trait. I don't even know where that shows up, to be honest. Is it here? Groupthink? Patriots? Yeah, I'm not seeing it. When we took over the Sheridan, it was something that showed up. It basically reduces the cost of our ships by 20%. And then we can pair that with the other one and reduce costs even further. But I'm not even sure where that would show up. It's not going to be under victory conditions. I could have sworn there was somewhere where it shows up. Maybe under population details? No. Alright, well, we'll figure it out at some point. It doesn't look like it's a building that we have to build. That's what I was concerned with, is whether or not we needed to build it in every one of our systems. It does not look like that is the case. Everybody's building something good. I don't really have a problem with that at the moment. Let's take a look at this fleet and just see. I should be getting a probe next turn, and I've got a bunch of probes going out. We want to scout down here and uncover that. In fact, we might go ahead and head back to here, because we're going to probably come down here and grab this curiosity regardless of what's out here. Okay. And what else do we need to get done? We don't have any money to do upgrades here, but we do have marketplace stuff that we could sell. Actually, I'm saving this for system development, and then Gossamer is the other one we need to get. Is there any Gossamer for sale? There's a small amount for sale. We could buy all 14 of that with our influence, which I think we should do. That puts us up to 20. And I think we needed 32, so we'll need to get 12 more. Do we have Gossamer production? We have 0 production of Gossamer in our empire. That's unfortunate. I think the 2 systems that actually had Gossamer were the 2 that we raised that we did not end up keeping. There's Orichalcix over here. There is Gossamer here, but we don't have access to Toxic Worlds yet, so that should actually, might be what we're researching right now. It is. Okay, so we'll be able to pick that up very, very soon. And we're already 10 minutes into this video and we haven't even finished our first turn yet, so I guess it's time to go ahead and end the turn. Okay, turn timers are getting a little bit long for my taste. I'm probably going to have to lower the number of players and size of the galaxy for future playthroughs. Lots of things going on. Let's take a look. Objective failed. We didn't keep the Perseus system clear of enemy ships.
I assume this is another dishonorable proposal.
They will not attack us anymore.
You're the caviar of the galaxy.
These guys are very friendly with us still. That's good. We successfully hacked. This is the pirate system. I think it's the one that we're actually on right now. They're going to produce a new fleet in 3 turns. Let's minimize this for a second and take a look. So, in less than 3 turns, yeah, we're going to need more than 3 turns. So I don't really want them producing anything. We'll go ahead and sabotage their supplies, which will increase the number of turns, I believe.
Whoa, you've got dust?
Not.
Hey, let's talk.
Alright, well, we'll just have to do it the hard way. But we are going to go ahead and siege this down quite a bit before we attack them. Even though we have tanks, I believe. More amoeba. Amoeba have reached 11. I believe that was what that quest wanted us to get to. Just looking at this, nothing stands out, so we're going to minimize that and come back to it. And prices have increased on strategics. Let's go and get our ships moving. This fleet can go ahead and throw out a couple of probes. Another turn and we'll have some more information out here. Novarus looks like a very interesting system. Let's take a look. I did enable the cutscenes again. I forget how pretty this is, and it does change the pace of the game a little bit, but it's really, really nice to watch some of these cutscenes every once in a while. It does kind of slow down the game. Those 5 planets. Alright, so what do we got? 2 small Mediterranean planets, an ash planet, and 2 medium desert planets. Most of them, almost all of them, have positive anomalies. Wow, so this is actually a really good system. I would be a little leery that sleepers might be on that system. I believe we're out of movement since we launched all of our probes, so we'll just wait here a turn. And I do have some probes here with some incoming ships. I should probably go ahead and send this probe down this lane. And then we can send this one down that lane. Now the reason we have sight here is because I believe we put a couple sleepers on this system so we can actually see what's going on. And we looked at what they were building before. They were building some medium class coordinator ships with about 11,000 health. It looked like energy weapons. So shields would be pretty good. We'll probably switch all of our defenses to shields before we deal with them. Alright, so let's go ahead and do something like that. fair. Oh, we're already hacking that target. That's why they don't want us to do that. Oh, well, we could hack this target instead. Okay, that's probably good enough. And then technology, let's take a look at what we need. We only need one more technology in this tree up here in order to get the next tier unlocked, so I think we should do that. Approval is kind of starting to become an issue for us. On the other hand, we could get enhanced ships, or we could get the other class, a medium class ship. I think we're going to go ahead and pick up this other hull type for now. We are a warmongering fashion after all. Faction. Where were we going with the ship? There was something I wanted to do with him. Was it part of a quest? Ugh, we got so many of them. We're at 9 of 11 amoeba. We're working on that. We're ignoring that quest. Send a fleet to the quest marker, which is up here. We could do that. Maybe that's where he was heading. What other quest do we have? We have one more. Search the curiosity on Perseus 3. This is the quest we were... Okay, there's Perseus. That's the quest we were heading to. 4 turns. We should be able to get through here. This is blockaded, though. The other option is... we just go straight through like that. I did stop here on purpose because I wanted to fix engines. So this Patrol 4 had a single ramp scoop engine for a total movement of 7. We could put that in and just give him a movement of 8. I could go ahead and switch out this for shields, since it seems like a lot of factions are using the beam weapons at the moment. And then our hero ship that gives him a movement of 6, 7, right? Yeah. So that's still only going to be 7, even with that, so that doesn't make any sense. It would be better to do this. Get his movement to 10. Make sure he's got the most up-to-date version of shields. Is there anything else that I want to do to this design? He doesn't have a lot of support modules. There's not a whole lot we can do. He's got lots of weapon modules, which is kind of nice, but... I guess we'll just leave it at that. That should give them a little bit more movement. Once I do this. And then... yeah, we can get there in 7 turns going this way. So I guess we'll go ahead and do that. Excuse me. Okay. Let's deal with what's going on over here. We've got some ships, some fleets. We'll get rid of this detector. We're not going to watch it. He's just going to retreat. And then we will continue to siege down his manpower defenses until they're more in line with our own.
Your actions will only make the war more painful. Your actions will only make...
Okay, he's not happy about that. All of our Horatio systems are growing. Let's see. Is terraforming something we want to consider doing over here? I think in the long term the answer is yes. In the short term probably doesn't matter. We got too many other things to build. I could take some of these off. So that's better off over there. We could do something like that, but that's actually worse. Both in terms of approval and industry. So we'll leave it as is about this system. Do that. We do have a new luxury building we could build, but there aren't... Well, there is one luxury resource here. Benthic Gems. It's only going to be 5 approval, though. So it's probably not worth prioritizing it. We need to get that built. I forgot we got this unlocked recently. The Trade Clearing Bureau gives us 100% system trade value. Can only be built once. We don't have the strategics to get that built yet, although we are gathering. Oh, we do have the strategics. Yeah, we do have enough to actually build that. It might be worth doing. Food would also be good. We're not able to fill this system very fast anymore. So some food buildings might be the next thing on the agenda. Alright, what did we find over here? Anything yet? Still waiting. My goodness, this just never ends. Look at this constellation. Holy crap. So much going on over here. And another stupid pirate. I'm tempted to go ahead and colonize Novarus. It's sort of way out of the way, but... Man, that's a long trade route. And Heracles is actually pretty reasonable as well. It's got Orichalcix, 4 planets. Let's head over here, get this curiosity, get the rest of this figured out. Maybe kill that ship. Is there anything else we can do? Not really. Is it time to sell a bunch of luxuries yet? Those are worth something. Let's sell... a little bit of those. So like and then let's use all of that money to get these all upgraded. I need a little bit more to upgrade that one. We saw like 5 of these. There we go. Let's keep growing those as fast as we can. We're going to get a lot of buildings built here very soon. What can we build over here that's going to be worthwhile? I guess what we can do is get all of these colonized. That's a lot of turns. Let's go ahead and get that one done. Get that one done. And then maybe get that one in the queue. We're gonna hopefully move some people over to this planet. The strategic resource will give us a lot more industry per population pip. And then we'll get these guys done a little bit faster. We're gonna have to pour some dust into this system to make it any good. Or some influence in this case. Alright, Horatio has been eliminated, so somebody finally got rid of the Horatio. It was probably this fleet here that got wiped out. You can see that that fleet's missing now. The reason that that did not end the game sooner is because they probably didn't have enough... they had enough ships that they could invade somebody else and take them over. And so that's why the computer was still considering them part of the game. Because technically they could steal back a system. But at this point, I think that's all but removed. Alright, ionic crystals. Not anything too exciting. Still no visibility on the end of this constellation. I'm going to go ahead and throw out probe down that lane, and then we'll probably travel down the other lane. Hero has gained another level. Extra science might not be bad. Extra industry is always good. Let's just get that for now. Let's go take care of Takim real quick, and let's see what can I do here. I can put at least 2 of them over there. We could put all of them over here. That increases our industry up to 71. Buy out a couple more of these colonies if I wanted to. Do either of them seem preferable to the other one? They're both ice worlds. Yeah, we'll grab one of them. And then we'll put this in the queue. Should be able to get that next turn. Alright, how we looking over here? Are we ready to invade yet? We're down to 400 pirates versus our 1,200 tanks. I think that is in our favor. So
Hello.
let's go ahead and drop our troops. We can blitz, which gives us 900 ground troop forces roughly to their 400, and they have no reserves. We'll watch it. Just because these battles are sometimes entertaining. I'd like to see a lot more troops out there when I have 900 infantry worth of manpower on the field. So they did survive, but it will be a short battle next round, and we didn't lose very much at all. Let's go ahead and continue that invasion. We probably could have done that several turns ago, but I always like to soften them up with a little bit of titanium slugs before I drop my troops down. Is there anything else we can buy out? We actually never got the technology to buy things out with dust, which is kind of unfortunate. But I guess it does mean that we can just continue to pour dust into these. And checking the marketplace, Gossamer is still empty, so we're not going to be able to do much. We should, however, prioritize the colonization of this planet and get that Gossamer so we can start collecting it. That way we can get our tier 3s up a little bit faster instead of waiting for the marketplace. The other thing that we could do is talk to our good friends, the Lumeris. And do they have any Gossamer? Does not look like they have any Gossamer. Which is unfortunate, because that's really the only thing that we need. We could request an alliance with them. I didn't realize we had gotten the alliance tech. I really like the idea of alliance. What if we add the trade agreement to that? They like that a lot, but they keep refusing it in the past. Let's see if they'll accept it this time.
The families are sad we won't be doing business.
Yeah.
We still hope.
There's got to be something going on with the trade
You
route
really
not
like
being
us, don't
viable
you?
that's causing them to say no to everything. What if we just ask for an alliance? Yeah, see, and that was accepted.
Oh, this is better than good business. It's
Alright. The Chorus of Aligned Sentience.
you're one of our favorite fish in
Your actions threaten the...
Did you forget? The choir watches, unseen.
That's interesting. They are sneaky towards us. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but they are at war with the Cravers. We kind of knew that. Looks like they're kind of winning the war, actually. They're not losing the war necessarily. Their system looks to be intact. I'm curious what this... Who's living here? We're gonna skip through those. Colonized by who? Do we know who that is? Oh, it's the Vaulters.
Speak.
Let us see if we can trust your words.
Interesting. So the Vultures have a single system in the middle of Lumeris space, which is kind of odd. We can see all of the Lumeris ships. They actually have a large fleet over here. Let's take a look at what their fleet looks like and see. Looks like they have a medium class. Nope, these are small. These are pretty weak ships, actually. If these weak ships are giving the Sophans problems at all, then we should be able to jump in here with some very powerful ships. It looks like they do have a couple of ships that they stole from minor factions. And then this fleet is a mixture of junk with minor faction ships as well. This fleet, even their higher level brig 10th edition ships are not very exciting. That's promising for us in our future war with the Sophans, as soon as we get rid of these pirates. Is there anything else I wanted to do? These are both colonizable now. They should probably enter the queue and maybe even move to the front of it because of the amount of industry we get. Also, Gossamer. And we really, really need that. So let's get that done. But the industry, the science, the food, all the good stuff from our early buildings. Moving right along to turn 90. Check the score here at turn 90. We're at over 800. We have slowed our expansion down quite a bit. And we actually have 5 systems that we can grab without penalty for overcolonization. And since this constellation is now all ours, I think we should definitely go ahead and get a settler bought out and get down here and grab these systems. These really rich systems down here are going to be very valuable for us. I can't believe this. Look at this. It just keeps going. This is the biggest constellation in a non-solo constellation I've ever seen. Holy moly. Alright.
How are you these days?
They would
Care
like
for
a
little
science agreement.
business?
I'll accept that. Treaty canceled. Science treaty you had with has been canceled. They could not afford the cost. That's what it really is. They can't afford the cost to maintain it. No need to watch this one. Over in short order. We got some resources for loot. And this system is now completely removed. What is this? Is there a reason we can't attack his ship? We're going to continue to embed sleepers. We got another amoeba, so we're very close to finishing that quest. And we actually hit 20? I'm sorry. We've hit 10. We need one more amoeba and we will have finished that quest. We also need to probably pop our booster for the Sheridan. I haven't been doing that, but it does increase the influence quite significantly. We need 37 transvine in order to do that. Transvine. There it is. 37. Let me just make sure I don't have any. I have 2. So I need 35. It's only 1.5k. We can sell that, that, that. That gives us the 37 we need. And now we're getting more influence per turn, back up to 800 per turn. Get some more of these things bought out a little bit quicker. We're finishing up a lot of construction here. So let's see in these systems what still needs to be done. Probably keep these guys filled up for the extra food so that this grows a little faster. Miners' unions could be good because we can get a lot of antimatter. Let's go back to here. We got 5 antimatter a turn coming in, and 4 adamantium a turn coming in. We could increase that by quite a bit. We could also just grab this, which is going to be a lot of science, but there isn't a ton of science in this system. We are kind of running low on things to produce in this system. We could do that as well. Spin projects down. You know what? We don't. I'm going to run these guys over here. Get a little bit more industry per turn. I can't really decide. I guess we'll go ahead and get the mining tech down. It won't take very many turns for that to get done. And it's not going to hurt anything. This ship is on its way. I did take the long way, unfortunately. I'm still curious why I can't interact with the Sanders ship.
He's welcome.
Is it because we're allied with him somehow? That we're not allowed to attack him? I'm not sure. Unfortunately, he's probably going to grab that system, which I can't do a lot about, so I guess we'll just move over here. Take care of these pirates. And how many troops do they have? 900. So we basically have even numbers of troops, but our troops are going to be way better equipped than theirs. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we got here. It's actually a fairly rich system with lots of luxury resources. I think we could go ahead and just invade. We don't need to wait like we did before. Infantry are particularly susceptible to preemptive bombing, but it does lower the number of forces that you got to bring each turn. Guerrillas will reduce the likelihood that any of our troops actually die, and Blitz just overwhelms them with force, speeds up the process quite significantly. We have tons and tons of manpower. We have enough to blitz and still have people in reserve, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And that almost wiped them out in a single battle, just because tanks are so much stronger than infantry once they're leveled up. Speaking of which, think we can go ahead and do the third level pretty easily and make them even more powerful. So with that effect, we might have done that in a single turn. Any military based? Nothing really. This is capacity on system. This is capacity on empire. This is reduction of treaty costs. And fill rate on fleet. I guess we'll take that. He's not going to be part of the government anytime soon. Alright, and then one of these systems can build a settler. And we'll settle lyrics real quickly. And help increase our trade route efficiency. What else do we need? Let's check the marketplace for Gossamer again. Still no Gossamer. And then, can I do anything here yet? Not quite, although he needs to stay over here. And we really should have spin projects running on any system that's filled. We do have the ability to remove negative, some of these negative curiosities, so we should probably do that. Anything over here on Miser that we can do? All of these have spin projects running. This system could use spin projects. Could also use public-private partnerships. Could also use everything else. Could also use a colony on this planet, which I'll go ahead and buy out because it'll be a little bit faster, and we'll start collecting these a little bit better. Oh my goodness. Who else is not building anything? Boris? I mean, this is kind of redundant. We have a ton of these coming in, but we might as well go ahead and increase the number of them that we're producing. We can also get spin projects on this system, and we could consider terraforming to savanna or to arid. I kind of like the idea of a sterile planet, though. I didn't mean to do that, because these guys benefit from being on sterile. We can just put all of them on the Terran world. I think that actually lowers our industry. Let me see here. Yeah, we get more industry here because of some of the industry buildings that enhance it. due to the strategics. But yeah, this is probably a better way to have our population spread out. There's more industry on lures anyways. And we don't need the food as much. I mean, it would be nice to grow a little faster. In fact, this system's not going to grow much at all unless we start shipping population over there, but then we'll lose it as fast as we're gaining it until we get more food buildings to sustain it. So that's probably a good place to be for now. Alright, let's take care of this first. We did have some in reserve, so I should not survive this time, however. And that takes care of that. Move all of our ships. Get this guy out. He can get there in one turn. And we can colonize one of these worlds. 2 food here, 1 food there, 4 food there. The large arid is probably going to be the winner then. The food is definitely the most important trait, and the speed at which you colonize. Industry would be the secondary trait if you want to really consider when colonizing. Because those two are the things that get your colonies off the ground the fastest. We actually have the resources for both of those, so we'll use them. And I want to make sure that this is coming from both. So all of our ships sending food will come from this system. This system does not have a ton of food. Maybe we should do it from a different system. Let's see. What systems have the most food? None of the systems that are near. We'll just send food from both for now. We got the other class of ship, which then has unlocked the next tier and will allow us to get the really big ships in about 9 turns, which I think we should do because really big ships are a lot of fun. Alright, this event has finally stopped. Part 3. Minus 10 influence on systems for 10 turns. Is now over. Trial by Fire Part 2 has come to an end. I guess so that minus 10 influence is starting. The minus 10 approval penalty is gone now. Lots of things completed. We now have increased movement on civilian ships, which is good. Get our food ships over there a little faster. And we already figured this out, so we can leave that screen for now. This ship, this fleet actually, has a curiosity we can search. Okay. And I think it's time to reassess this fleet. We actually have enough that we could build another battleship, or we could build a cruiser. Even better. Let's look at building a cruiser so we have cruisers now. Pull everything off of them for a second. Let's see what we have. So the cruisers have a number of different ways we can build them. We could build these with lots of bombers, and I'm kind of leaning towards that because I want to play around with the bomber fighter system again. It's been a while since I've really utilized it, but we could go something like this. And then we could put this fleet specifically in a position where those will be most effective. Let's exit that for now, and let's look at our escort ships and our little ships and see. So we're maxing out here at a movement of 6. And there's not a lot we can do to upgrade this ship design. We could go double shields. And we have some better repair modules. Increased chance to be targeted but repairs. Increased chance to be targeted but repairs. Lower chance to be targeted. Increased ship evasion. Flotilla projectile defense and energy defense. That's interesting. I'm not sure what this means. If I throw this in here, well, before I do that, let's switch to detail. Let's switch back to one of each. I have a feeling that it affects these numbers in some way. So if I throw this in there, that gave me some health. I think that's part of the module though, right? No. So my health stat did go up. Oh, my health stat changed because the repair module offered health. So it actually went down. It's not actually showing me what this does. Stat-wise, it doesn't seem to affect us in any way. That's really curious. I could put a bunch of these into my ships. I wonder if that would be worth it. I'm gonna go ahead and try this. This doesn't actually cost anything. It might be better than the small amount of repair that we were getting. Alright, so we'll apply that. That was my escort ship. My corvettes also have a movement of 6. They're mainly using these laser weapons, but I think I might actually want to put a different weapon in my top slot. Maybe some improved torpedoes. These have really high damage compared to most of the other ones that we're running. It's actually not that much higher than the standard ones. 5% crit chance versus no crit chance. We have plenty of titanium production though, so we could throw that in there. Okay, let's try that. None of the enemy ships seem to be running bullet weapons. Slugs are the main defense against torpedoes. cruisers, we'll come back to in a second. Our battleships. Take a look at. Alright, he's got a movement of 6. He's got the titanium slugs. Maybe we pull these off and consider something else instead. We've got kinetic enhancers. I got one set of guns just in case missiles do become a problem. But I think I would rather have the torpedoes instead of the lasers that we were running. And then since we do have missile defense on these ships, we can probably go double shields and give them more shields, or I could go more flotilla defense. More manpower. I think we have plenty of manpower. I think we'll just go with the extra shields. We know that the Sophons are using a lot of energy weapons, so extra shields are going to be beneficial. Alright, and then we can edit this design, and this is the one we want to use fighters. So we need a movement of 6, which we have. We're going to put 3 things of bombers in here. And then for defensive modules, we're going to put 2 things of shields, 1 thing of armor, and I've got 1 module left. What do we put here? We could throw an adamantium jammer in there. Lowers the chance to be targeted and increases ship evasion. Could also have 1 group of fighters. 2 groups of bombers, 1 group of fighters. Titanium slugs. We could get stealth for our fleets. I think maybe we put another one of these in here. I have no idea what this really does, but holy crap, that is expensive. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to remove that from our other ships. There's no way we're gonna be able to afford that in all of our ships. Maybe I'd throw that in there. I don't want this ship getting attacked since it doesn't have a lot of defenses. Yeah, this is way too expensive. We'll put something else here. Maybe these repair modules. Throw those back in there. The other thing we could put in is the titaniums, but we'll just go with that. Alright, so now this Botha system needs to build me a cruiser. Start building some ships here. We should have another of these. And I think I'm running all of these guys here for the industry bonuses due to that strategic. So we'll keep doing that for now. Hey, how's it going? A little bit late tonight. This one is about to be wrapped up, but the good news is the Horatio are officially exterminated, minus the ones that are under Empire rule, which is how they all should be. Look at how big this constellation has turned out to be. This is all part of our constellation. Quite insane if you ask me. I'm not sure that I've ever seen a constellation this large without having it set to a larger than normal size or a single constellation. I'm a little worried that this is all empty over here as well. That could mean that we are on the same constellation as the Umbral Choir, and in fact that's almost certainly the case because it looks like we found one of their fleets, so we might have to deal with that at some point. I am trying to colonize this area. I'm sure we're going to have all kinds of problems with sleepers eventually because of it. Luckily our colony ships have good movement speed. Won't take him long to get down here. I was looking at Novarus, which has 5 really decent systems. Heracles is also pretty solid, and Justium. These are all going to be really good trade potential with areas. But yeah, all of these are part of the Lupus system. That's crazy. It's a huge, huge constellation. It's very difficult to conquer the Umbral Choir. Basically, you have to identify their home system, which is always on a special node, and then you have to camp all of the nearby adjacent special nodes, because as soon as you start to attack their home system, they will teleport it to one of the other adjacent ones that they've connected it to. Fortunately, when they do that, all of their other escape routes get destroyed and they have to rebuild them. So as long as you are on top of all of the nodes and you can immediately figure out where they've gone, you can pretty much shut them down. But it's really tricky if you don't have enough fleets, and there's too many of these. And the other thing is, if they get ones that are really, really far away, it can be tricky. Typically they'll get all of the ones nearby, and so they'll have the little escape routes like over here and over here and over here. And so as long as you're covering all of those, you can get them. But it's almost impossible if you don't have multiple fleets just sitting on top of those nodes. We very well could lose this fleet to them. We're not in a friendly position with the Choir at the moment. I wasn't expecting to come up on their entire fleet over there. We'll take a look at that fleet in a little bit. We did actually make a formal alliance with the Lumeris, and you can see they've brought a lot of ships over here, but they're all garbage ships. They're really bad. But they are doing their best to harass the Sophons, which is set to be our next victim. Also, we got some new ships, new ship designs that we're going to try out, including one with bombers and fighters. And I'll explain my thoughts on those if we get a chance to play with them much. Might want to throw a probe out. Not sure where yet, but free probe every turn. You should usually throw them out if you have them. This fleet needs to come home and we made new ship designs for everybody. So we'll be putting new weapons and defenses on everybody here shortly. And moving on to the next turn. I was going to try to get to turn 100 tonight, but it's already been an hour and 10 minutes, and I think we've made it a grand total of 7 turns. Something like that. Alright, he didn't immediately attack us, so that's good. Let's take a look at his ships. So his ships have attack and defense and less than 200. Those are really weak. Yeah, that's not a very dangerous fleet. It's got a lot of ships in it. Then again, our fleet... Well, our battleship will basically carry the day if we do decide to attack these guys. They do have a behemoth over here. That almost certainly indicates, if they have a behemoth over here, that this is where their home system is. That's kind of a dead giveaway. But I'm just envisioning trade routes running all the way from this nice 4-planet system through to my home system. That would be quite something. And that's what we're considering here. Oracle 6 is something I've already... Yeah, so much potential dust indeed. I thought we had a planet that was collecting Oracle 6 for us, but it doesn't appear to be the case. It's just that we've gotten deposits uncovered. That's why I had an even 15, I guess. So we have the potential here, but not quite there yet. We're working on it. Okay. So we do have Oracle 6, so that's not nearly as exciting as I thought it was originally. Because I was thinking this might be where we get it. It still wouldn't hurt to have Oracle 6. And there are some curiosities over here that we might be able to pick up. It isn't that much, even with mining, but it's usually enough. The quantities that you need are pretty reasonable. Unless you're going for the Wonder Victory, in which case, yeah, it is only 1. So it's a pretty small deposit there. The deposit over here is... Let's skip through that. I can't tell. An average deposit, so that should be a 2. So it's actually a better deposit. Oh, they did attack us. Alright. Let's see. Their weapons look to be a lot of laser weapons. They're going to be most effective at medium range. Our ships are generally more effective at close range, so we're going to go with Turtle, and we'll probably open up at medium range, which I believe is fine for most of these ships. And if we do survive, which we should, then we'll get a move into... This is probably fine. Let's watch this battle and see what it looks like. Their ships look really cool, so... Our medium-class ship should still carry the day for us, though. We're probably going to lose most of that top fleet, but our hero's up there, so... he'll survive as long as our fleet survives. There we go. speed it up just a little bit. Yeah, that's just because I clicked on it. When you click on it, it puts a box around it, but it keeps you in position around that ship. Keeps your screen centered on it. You can actually see the values here. Looks like we're doing all right. Most of our fleet, even in that other flotilla, is surviving. So I think we only lost 2 ships. Yeah. 2 to 9. That's gonna sting for them. Kind of stings for us too, but it was our escort ships. These are cheap, easy to reproduce. Unfortunately, this does put this fleet in a little bit of a predicament if we get in another fight. Which is possible. We don't know how many ships they have. And at the moment, we don't have any way of even detecting their ships if they do decide to go stealth on us. So getting stealth detection on some of our fleets in the very near future is going to be important. Looks like the Lumeris have a ship all the way out here. That's quite interesting. I think we've finally uncovered the entirety of this constellation now. That is a big constellation. We do have some new colonies going down. One turn and we'll get another one started. It's going to take a long time for this one to get completed. And we have some pirates here. This is a level 5 pirate layer already. That means it's been here for a very long time. That could be problematic for us. How many special nodes are around here? Only 2? So in order to deal with these guys, if they are indeed on this node, which they most certainly are, we'll need to get a fleet on this node, as well as this node. Esh is not, it's just a destroyed world, so it's not a special node. And if we start to siege this, eventually they will move their entire system over to one of these other nodes. And as long as we have another fleet waiting for them, they won't be able to do much about it. It is tricky though. They do have that nifty little escape route. They might be the next one we try to take down. Speaking of which, let's take a look. They are at a power of 600 on the scoreboard, and they just lost a fairly large fleet. I'm curious to know what their score was before that. I wasn't paying attention earlier. Alright. They're probably not happy with us. Who has something to say to us? Yeah.
Creature, you know we watch from the shadows.
We'll ask them to halt their attacks and see what they say.
Did you forget? The choir watches.
They're refusing to halt attacks. We're going to go ahead and increase evasion on ships. In case they bring another fleet to attack our ships, that'll give them just a little bit more chance to do damage. Is there anywhere else we need to be? I guess we'll go to Nis and grab that curiosity next, and then hopefully we can get on Pericles relatively soon. We'll send food from Mizar. It's going to take forever to get there, but that will be a place where we can restock. The other thing we could do is just bring that hero back over here and build a new fleet. We definitely need more fleets going down. But we got a lot of other things going on at the moment. I did go ahead and colonize this pirate system. So we'll pick that one up soon enough. I think that's all we need to do this turn. I've got a fair amount of influence. I might want to buy one of these out. I've been trying to get this system off the ground. It's kind of slow going. Oh, then we have another hack. Where do we want to hack? I still have a back door on the system? That's interesting. So I don't know what's going on here. Isander has a colonizer ship here, but I was unable to attack it for some reason. And it's been sitting here for multiple turns and hasn't done anything. Also, my back door is still here. That's pretty cool. Even though the pirate layer has been destroyed, the back door is still there. So we can still continue to do this. Just run this back door. Just keep putting sleepers on here. We're almost to 5. In fact, if we get this hack completed, that could put us at 4, and then this one could put us at 5. So I guess we'll just keep putting sleepers on them for now. Population boosters have dropped off, so we'll need to take care of that again. Oh, we don't have Imperials anymore. I forgot about that. We switched to Sheridan. It's just telling us that that timer has dropped off. But since we're not carrying Imperials anymore, that's irrelevant. The Amoeba one, however, is one that we should consider boosting again. 10 of those. Should be pretty easy to grab. There's a lot of those on the market. Grab 10. And run that for a little bit longer. New luxury resource discovered. Dust water. 15% dust on systems. That's a really good one. We've discovered 50% of the galaxy. We are being hacked. Surprise, surprise. Alright, so let's get some defenses down over here. Put some encryption down over here. All of these systems have either encryption or interrogation up at the moment. Looks like encryption. Hostile trace has been detected. Okay, so they've detected that. That's not a big deal. Population is growing. That's good. And population is leaving Botha because we're sending food ships to Wyrix. And we've completed a bunch of stuff. So Lors is ready for something else. How much do I care about science at this point? I guess that's only 1 turn, and that's only 3 turns out. So we'll go ahead and grab that and that. And then we're going to consider building another fleet. 2 battleships and a cruiser to start with. 1 for each of the flotillas. And then we'll populate the rest of them with other things. Alright. We need to find the system with the most food. That's 6 food. These are not going to have more food. Desert planets, yeah, it's going to be the jungle. Pretty little cutscene. I did re-enable the cutscenes. Such a gorgeous game. Alright, we're pulling food from Mizar, which has the most food. This will reduce it to 14 turns. We could increase the food. I don't think we need to increase the food. They're already going to send quite a bit. So we'll just leave that as is. He is not quite to his destination. And this fleet can be retrofit now. So we've been slightly upgraded. We have a Sophan scout from the dark blue Sophan faction. Now that we've retrofit, we can head on back over here and probably start working on Pictor, but we'll probably end the video before that. I do want to do a couple more turns. I did have a situation earlier tonight, if you're still there, where the Lumeris tried to get a science agreement with me and then immediately had to cancel it because they couldn't afford it. So I think the ability to afford an agreement might be what's causing them to not accept our trade agreements. We're going to make a demand of these guys.
Careful. You're messing with the smart ones.
How come I can't close my borders on them? Declare war, peace, request alliance, open borders. It's saying my borders are closed. How are they able to travel into my space? Not sure what's going on there.
This is what we're going to do. You violent pieces of 3-methylindole.
Okay. Reach 309 industry. I'll take a free technology over anything else. Alright. What can I do to increase industry over here? Let's get both of these down. Alright, we want only Horatio on the hot planets, because they get extra approval for being on hot worlds. What do we have in terms of industry? This is the most industry rich with 3 per turn, plus it gets the bonuses, so let's make sure that this one is filled out. Completely full if possible. That's going to give us the most industry that we can get, I think. And then these buildings get completed. That should put us over the top for that quest. Alright. The other thing we could do is move a hero here. We don't have any heroes here at the moment. Um, did I ever get the ability to purchase heroes? I did not. That is a missing technology. That is the one that we're going to get unlocked for free. So...
What do you want? We're kind of busy.
we can impose a truce on them. I actually might do that. I don't want to have to worry
Is there
about these
something
guys.
else we can do?
Yeah, let's do that. That will force a truce with this faction, hopefully. Oh, that was the wrong one. Whoops. Well, 10 turns. I meant to do it for
What
this
in
one.
Enver's name is it now?
Should have paid a little more attention there. Well, we have 10 turns to prepare multiple fleets now. Alright, did he ever make it? He finally made it to Perseus. We can now complete this quest. Which... exert 40 positive pressure on at least one major empire in order to gain the Sheridan College, which unlocks Sheridan Slug's battle tactic. Not sure what the Sheridan Slug's battle tactic is, but that was a nice chunk of dust and a nice load of titanium. And what are we going to do with you? I guess you don't have much going on, but you could stand to level up by sitting on this system for a few turns.
Creature, you know we watch from the shadows.
Remove your nearby outpost. I'm not even sure where it was.
Did you forget? The choir watches, unseen.
We'll increase pressure on them for now. This guy can scout the lone curiosity here. Quadronix. Alright, we need that. That was the first Quadronix I've seen in the entire galaxy, as far as I'm aware. I guess we'll head over there. Alright, and this ship should not be in my territory. I don't know why it is. We do have closed borders with these guys already.
What in Enver's name is it now?
I am curious if I could get them to map share with me. They're not particularly interested in that. They do have a little bit of Gossamer, which I kind of need. Alright, I'm not going to worry too much about it. I think this is pretty close to a good place to stop. We'll probably finish off one more turn here. We have a lot of money, so we should probably buy out some more of these. Anything else? This is coming along, slowly but surely. 9 turns. go ahead and buy that out just because it's cheap. Actually, that was kind of dumb. I moved all my population off the planet that would have benefited the most from that. Oh well. Alright, who still needs to move? This ship can move to there. Our fleets are just not very fast. There is a trick to make them faster, building what 4X alchemists call tugboats, which are basically just ships with lots and lots of support module slots, and they use the fleet accelerators, and then you just stack half of your fleet command points with fleet accelerators and move really, really quickly across the map. The other thing that we could be doing is we could drop one of these laws. Spoils of war can probably be dropped. We could be running new colony. We do have 2 new colonies currently in production. That's probably worth running. And then the other thing that we could do is we could drop Toys for Boys. Seeing as almost all of our empire is ecstatic, I'm kind of curious where we're really at. So if we abolish this law temporarily, yeah, we're still doing really well. We don't need to be running that. Which means we opened up a spot for the Dirty Hands Act, which we're not allowed to run for some reason. I'm not sure why we can't pass that law at the moment.
News of you is welcome.
Is it because we don't have enough influence to start it? Yes, because it costs 156. So we'll kick it off next turn. Alright, I've got 1 probe here. I could send this probe into uncharted space, or I could take a peek at what's going on in the Sophan systems over here. But we already have vision of those. Is there any other uncharted space? I guess we'll just throw it through there, just in case there's another little system hiding out in the middle of this constellation. Our sleepers are giving us good vision of everything going on here. I forgot about that. So we don't really need to worry about that. What does this system even look like again? Ice, gas, barren, yeah, that's the reason why I left it. It turned out to be not a terrible system. It's got ionic crystals, gossamer, some positive anomalies, but it's still really bad planet types at the beginning of the game. Alright, are we close to this? Let's end a turn here and see how close we are. May have achieved that in 1 turn. We discovered a new endless planet. This must be because of the Lumeris. Mizar's been compromised, that's unfortunate. So this is the Unfallen Empire over here. We did achieve it. Impactless Sites is now ours, that's good. So their previous relation of truce has been changed to Cold War. I only see 1 system. It's not their capital system, though. So they've got to have another one somewhere. I'm I'm not super concerned about them. They are going to be a problem for the Lumeris, potentially. The Riftborn have been eliminated. Alright, what do we got here? This is a small system. Why are we here again? Just for the antimatter, I guess? Seems like there are better places we could be putting our investments. Cut all my food buildings. Mainly just need industry buildings. This can be bought out or built in 4 turns. Let's just build it in 4 turns for now. Let's get spin projects built. That helps pay the bills. Actually, we'll buy that out. Anything to get industry going faster would be good. Get our ships moving, and this will be the turn that I will wrap it up. It is likely that I will play this one a little bit longer, just because we're in a good position, but I really want to kind of see how the end game looks, and we built these new ships in our fleets. We didn't get a chance to really do much with them yet. Well, we designed some new ships and upgraded some old ones, and I still can't attack his ship. I don't know what's going on with this. That's a little weird. We can't move into his territory because of the truce. So what we're going to do is just blockade this system for now and prevent anybody else from being on it. There's not much else going on over here. I think what I'm going to do is... Oh, that's unfortunate. Sorry you missed some of it. If you did, again, this video should be up sometime this evening, tomorrow morning, so you can go back and watch the parts that you missed. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to move my one hero. That's unfortunate, buddy. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you probably had some good comments that I could have played better from reading. I'm sure you usually do. I think I'm going to move this hero out of this system. We're going to instead move this guy over there just to level up as all of this gets built. And then when this fleet gets completed, I'm going to put him in command of it. Yeah, you know, the other thing that's really annoying, YouTube doesn't... There's a little indicator down here in the bottom of the screen that's supposed to tell me how many people are watching. And it worked great with Twitch. I could actually see how many people were on the stream. But for YouTube, for whatever reason, it doesn't actually show me how many people. So... Mizar does not have a governor, I don't think. Oh, it does. Okay. Well, I thought we had somebody else. I thought he was in charge of a different system. But we'll put our high-level hero. He's actually almost level 7, which completes the quest that he was trying to complete. So I'm going to leave him here. We'll find a system that is in need of a hero real quick and put our high-level hero there to help level it up. So if we look at systems that are not doing great, Takim is one that could use some help. And it's actually one that I want to get bigger because I think there's a trade company here, if I'm not mistaken. So let's go ahead and throw him down in charge of this system for a little while. You can see he's providing 68 additional industry, which is really going to help. I kind of noticed that. Yeah, fleet accelerators have not been available for a lot of ships that I thought they should be. So only heroes can get them. Well, that makes sense. I guess it's kind of broken the way that they were using. It seems like every exploit that 4X Alchemist figured out, they've patched out of the game. Which is kind of good, because they were really kind of cheaty exploits, but... yeah, it was pretty powerful, that's for sure. So was the probe tactic they were using, the Nova probe technique that you use at the beginning of the game, where you just send probes in 12 different directions because you could just repopulate your probes so easily. They patched that out pretty quickly too. Alright, well, unfortunately I stalled our offensive effort against these Sophons because I accidentally truced out with them instead of this one. The colors both being blue did not help me there. Let me go ahead and clear that. But I think that's going to be it for tonight. We're pushing almost 2 hours here. And as I mentioned, maybe while you were watching or while you were unable to type there, I think I am going to play this one a couple more times. I do want to see our new ships in action and take advantage of some of the new toys that our Sheridan Empire has acquired. Yeah. It's pretty easy to laugh at me. I make quite a few mistakes. But we shall carry on. This isn't that important. Alright. So, with everything that's going on, the one major thing that we accomplished is we now know the full extent of our entire constellation. All, what, 20 systems that it makes up? Which seems incredibly enormous. But then again, I guess this is all one constellation here. These are very large constellations. And it looks like there's one more here that I haven't quite figured out much about. So we might need to send some scouts out. But we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up tonight. If you're enjoying the video series, please let me know by posting in the comments, liking, and sharing the video. And this has been The Nose Plays. We'll see you next time.